Hello friends, hope you are doing well. Welcome to our YouTube channel Worldscape. Thanks to the vaccination drives, travel is starting to ramp up, and if you're anything like us, you're already planning your first big vacation. While there are many of big-ticket destinations worthy of a spot on your travel bucket list, we like to highlight a handful that may have gone unnoticed. Check out our pick of the most underappreciated U.S. sites to visit in 2021 and 2022. Number 8. Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte is a must-see for craft beer fans who can sample beer from the city's 30 breweries. If you prefer wine, Rossi's Coffee and Wine Garden features both wine and beer on tap, as well as a garden setting. Meanwhile, foodies should travel to Optimist Hall, a mixed-use area with a number of excellent eateries, selling anything from substantial to healthful foods. The city also has a plethora of fantastic chef-driven restaurants, several of which have received or been semi-finalists for the renowned James Beard Award. The Mint Museum Uptown, for example, features young artists and explores ground that isn't typically seen in larger-scale institutions. Number 7. Buffalo, New York. Buffalo was one of the most populous cities in the country at the start of the 20th century, and it served as a beacon for all things new, cool, and notable. However, a mid-century industrial and economic collapse resulted in a large emigration, and the city has battled to shed its has-been reputation ever since. Folks, the new, burgeoning Buffalo is chock full of history and trendy elements. Buffalo's collection of 20th century structures, including the perfectly maintained Frank Lloyd Wright Martin House, the Beaux Arts-style Albright Knox Art Gallery, and the Art Deco stunner Buffalo's Central Terminal train station, is practically an open-air museum for architectural fans. Stop by the Hotel Henry, a boutique hotel set within a refurbished section of the Buffalo State Asylum, now known as the Richardson Olmsted Campus, which was originally planned by Henry Hobson Richardson and planted by Frederick Law Olmsted of Central Park fame. It's free to enter and features amazing art exhibits, a free co-working space, and a superb restaurant. While you're in town, visit the West Side Bazaar to see immigrant-owned restaurant and retail startups. Get active at Buffalo River Works with zip lining and wall climbing, and listen to live music at the historic Colored Musicians Club, where all the jazz greats once performed. Number 6. Tampa, Florida. Tampa has been undergoing a stylish makeover, giving the city the hip and contemporary edge it lacked previously. Armature Works, a 1910 warehouse space that was repurposed into a one-stop spot with co-working spaces, restaurants, bars, a neighborhood market, and more, and Sparkman Wharf, a reimagined space with a beer garden full of Florida craft brews, shops, waterside views, and eateries from the city's best chefs, were two of 2019's biggest game changers. Tampa is also a big sports town, so catch a game of ice hockey, basketball, or football while you're there. Number 5. Houston, Texas. Houston, the fourth largest city in the United States, keeps up its half of the everything is bigger in Texas bargain. It also excels in science, culture, and diversity, as one might expect from a city with two enormous space facilities, several museums, and one of the country's largest immigrant and refugee populations. Check out Lyric Market, which has a 4,000-square-foot rooftop deck with city views and delicious food. Also worth the visit are Asiatown's temples and Vietnamese Cajun cuisine, Freedmen's Town historic districts, soul food and African-American history, and the National Museum of Funeral History's Trip to the Hereafter. Do you want to have a once-in-a-lifetime experience? Visit NASA's Johnson Space Center and Space Center Houston to touch a piece of Mars. Walk through life-size mock-ups of the International Space Station. Learn how astronaut food is evolved, and see the meticulously restored mission control room, set up exactly as it was the day we landed on the moon. Number 4. Fort Worth, Texas. Despite being the country's 12th largest city, Fort Worth still finds it difficult to distinguish itself from Dallas. It attracts roughly a third of the tourists that Dallas does. Fort Worth, on the other hand, has its own flair and vibe that is definitely worth investigating. Monet, Renoir, and Takashi Murakami have all had exhibits in local museums, while unique event spaces like Black House Empower and support up and coming artists and performers. Grab some Texas BBQ and a nice beer and listen to the local sounds. You might even catch a glimpse of Fort Worth natively on bridges, if you're lucky. Visit the Stockyards National Historic District or get tickets to a game or rodeo at Dickies Arena, which has a capacity of 14,000 people. Number 3. San Luis Obispo, California. The Central Coast of California is a popular weekend escape for residents of San Francisco and Los Angeles, but it's often forgotten by other tourists. San Luis may appear to be a waste of time because there isn't much to see and do in the neighborhood. If you know where to look, you'll find a relaxed wine country, a health-conscious society, outdoor experiences, and food and drink that will transport you back to your beginnings. Paso Robles is a wonderful, low-key alternative to Napa Valley, with over 250 wine-tasting venues and over 40 varietals of wine grapes. You're not a wine drinker. For an olive oil sampling, go to Kyla Ridge Olive Farm. Alternatively, schedule a private foraging tour with Central Coast Distillery, where you'll go on a hunt for ingredients and then mix together creative cocktails, using what you find. In the Morro Bay National Estuary, you may also go kayaking. You may learn about the environment and see a floating oyster farm, resident harbor seals, and a variety of birds, including white pelicans, up close. If you're in town on a Thursday, don't miss the San Luis Obispo Farmers Market, which takes over the main strip in downtown SLO and boasts live music, local BBQ, farm cheese, fresh vegetables, and the opportunity to leave your mark on bubblegum alleys, gummed-up walls. Number 2. Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis has a lot going for it. The year 2020 was a strong year for the Midwestern city, and visitors can still take advantage of the many new attractions and grand openings in 2021 and 2022. The city's bicentennial and the 104th running of the annual Indy 500 motor race were both commemorated in 2020. The new Bottle Works District, a massive mecca for entertainment, food, drinks, and shops, a restaurant from James Beard Award, semi-finalist Abby Maris, and the Madam Walker Theater Center, a multi-million-dollar theater honoring the legacy of the first self-made African-American woman, Madam Walker, are just a few of the notable 2020 openings. And finally, the most underrated destination on our list is Taos, New Mexico. Skiers may be aware of the small New Mexican town of Taos, but it is sometimes disregarded in favor of Santa Fe. Come here for the quirky art culture, snowy mountains, hatch chilies, and jaw-dropping scenery that Santa Fe has to offer, but at a lower cost and with fewer crowds. Taos is also rich in outdoor activities, culture, and history, including the must-see Taos Pueblo, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, consists of multi-story adobe structures. Taos Pueblo marked the 50th anniversary of the return of Blue Lake in September 2020, when sacred territory was returned to local indigenous people after more than 64 years of federal occupation. With new galleries, boutique hotels, stores, and a craft distillery, Taos' downtown district is witnessing a quiet revival. Well, that brings us to the end of our list. Please like, comment, and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to turn on notifications for all the updates from our channel. See you in the next one. Till then, take care, friends, and be nice to each other.